What's happening, everyone? JayShockblast here, and check it out. We are exactly 1 month away from the release of Star Wars Outlaws on August 30th. And last week, maybe a week or two ago, I actually got to play Star Wars Outlaws. So thank you so much to Ubisoft for letting me take part in this remote event. I got to play 4 hours of the game, and during that time, we actually took a trip to this planet we're on right here, Toshara, which is kind of a syndicate homeworld full of Crimson Dawn and the Pikes and the Hutts and all sorts of different baddies. And we have crash landed here with what appears to be a stolen ship, and we need to repair it and do all sorts of stuff. And this really kickstarts us into the game. The gameplay you're going to see in this video is just a bunch of clips of general stuff, mostly to look at the environment and to kind of see what the game is all about. I tried to do a little bit of a mashup of 4 hours of gameplay into the 20-minute time limit I have, so that I could kind of talk over it and give you some first impressions of the game. Now, first of all, I'm a massive Star Wars fan. I freaking love Star Wars so much. I've grown up with it. I saw Return of the Jedi in the theaters, so I was not really old enough to do the other two, but still, I got to see one of them in the theaters, the original run, and this is a long love story for me, and I am so excited about this game. Listen, I think we all like the idea. Like, would I have rather a Mandalorian game? Yeah, sure. A Boba Fett game? Yeah, of course. But like, this is still cool to me. We still get these unique snippets into this vast, massive galaxy, while getting to see things that feel very familiar, and that's what I really appreciate about this. And there's a lot of Star Wars games that have happened over the years that focused on characters we had no idea who were, and started off with the same kind of thing of, hey, I would really rather play as Luke Skywalker, but no, here we are, we're Cal Kestis or Kyle Katarn or any number of Darth Revan, like all these different characters throughout the Star Wars gaming verse. And, Kay and I think it's Vix, they're pretty cool. I'm definitely digging the kind of smuggler vibe, and I'm really, really looking forward to playing it more. Now, one thing that I did notice about the game that is not generally my personal playstyle is it does rely a lot on stealth. There is a lot of stealthy gameplay. There's a lot of sections where it's like, do this, but don't get caught. And that is not my forte. I am like Rambo. I like to kick in the door and shoot everybody in the face. If I have the option to do either or. So, I had to adapt a little bit as I played. And am I looking forward to that aspect of this game the most? No. But everything else really comes together really well. The vibe of everything is really, really cool. Right now we're on a planet that I don't believe we've really seen in Star Wars before. But we've definitely seen, syndicate areas where it's, lots of crime and stuff like that. So it definitely feels really good. It feels like a little bit of Tatooine, like a more vegetative Tatooine, I guess. There's actually plant life and stuff. So it's kind of like somewhere between that and certainly like a Kashyyyk or whatever, where it's the in-between desert and lushness. But yeah, it seems like there's going to be a lot of customization options, which is something that's important to me. I like to find all the collectibles and stuff. And then there's some really cool gameplay that we'll see a little bit of gun gameplay, but mostly just walking around and looking at things. The character story. Look, listen, I got to play a little snapshot of the game, so I don't know everything that's going on, but I do know that it seems like Kay has stolen a ship and is on the run, and she's being hunted, and it is known to her that this is happening. So she's trying to do missions and trying to curry favor. What we're going to see here is I've already done some missions for the Crimson Dawn. I've already aligned with the Crimson Dawn a little bit, and my reputation is good. So I could just walk right through that door. But, later on we're going to go to Kijimi, which, if you remember, is a planet we saw in The Last Skywalker. episode 9, and that planet got kind of blown to bits. But we get to kind of explore there, and I am not in good with the Kajimians. The Kajimians? Anyway, I'm definitely not in good with them, so I had to go sneaky sneaks around, and that's what we're kind of doing here. We're looking for some parts. We have access, but there are still restricted areas, and so it's all about building up reputation, doing different quests. I am terrible driving anything, so obviously, we cut right to the speeder bike and me just not staying on the roads. I mean, they say where we're going, we don't need any roads, but I live by that motto. So here we're going to kind of link up with the ship, but there's a really good mix of gameplay, and I think if you're a Star Wars fan, I think you're really going to like this game a lot. I know that there is this like subsection of fans that are a little disappointed that we're not getting to play as, say, Han Solo. Like, this seems like it would be the perfect Han Solo game. It is that time frame. I believe it's between episode 4 and 5, or maybe it's 5 and 6. Actually, I think Han Solo is in Carbonite at this point. I think that's actually a level you get to play if you pre-order the game and get the deluxe edition. So I'd rather play as Han Solo too, but I think by the end of this game we're gonna love these two. Her little pet, I think his name is Vix. He has I don't know if it's a he or she, but they have an ability where they can actually go out there and distract people, steal, and even, as you'll see a little later on, detonate grenades that are in their pockets, which I love. There is space gameplay as well. You can kind of travel around in space and do things out there. We are going to take off in a moment. The areas that I got to play, because they had some curated gameplay for us, we got to do some missions here on Tashara and kind of get an idea of how all the cartels work. We also got to fly around in space for a little bit and do a quest where we actually land on an Imperial space station, and we have to get some cargo out of there. And then we actually got to go to Kijimi, which was really cool to see Kijimi. We've seen Kijimi a little bit in the Lego game, Lego Star Wars, The Skywalker Saga. So, it's cool. That was cool. That was fun. Kind of looking around the ship right here. But it's not the same as this, where you're literally able to go down the streets and everything. The graphics were really great. I played remotely, so I wasn't playing on my own console. I think I was playing on an Xbox in like North Carolina or something. So the amazing things we could do with technology these days. But like I just love it, man. I loved Cal Kestis and his games. I loved The Force Unleashed. So I just feel like getting these unique characters really helps build the Star Wars universe, and this is exactly what we're looking at. And I think we're gonna get a lot of gameplay out of this. I don't know how many other worlds we go to. I don't know how many other sections of the galaxy we get to explore. I just know that we got to go to these 2 planets in particular. So I will caution and say maybe those are the only 2 planets. I doubt it. I'm sure there's going to be, like, I would guess 5 or 6 planets at least, different areas. And the areas seem pretty big. They seem pretty explorable. And then there's all this stuff going on in space. I was able to kind of fly around in space a little bit and pick up resources and whatnot. So there's definitely ways to, build up your character and stuff like that. Make improvements to your gear. We weren't really allowed to show any of the menus, which is unfortunate because I made a point to spend a lot of time in the menus, but that's on me for not reading. But I did find some pretty cool collectibles, some pretty cool outfits. I even actually did a side quest where it unlocked a secret vendor that allowed me to buy a specific outfit that I don't think you'd be able to buy otherwise. I will upload that quest later so that you have it like when you get to Kijimi and you're playing your real game, because if I remember correctly, it was a pretty cool outfit. I am the way I play these games is I love finding the collectibles and making the video guides on how to find stuff. That's my thing. And I think there's going to be a lot of that here, because you're going to walk around and you're going to hear people talking, and you're going to want to talk to them, and you're going to listen to what you're going to hear what they're saying, and you're going to want to, like, you know, they have a quest. I ran into a situation that is not here, but when I was walking around, somebody recognized me and said, "That's Kay, and they're wanted. Oh, she's looking at us." You know what I mean? And I geek out over stuff like that. Like, that's immersion, and that's the type of thing that I really love about video games. So here we are landing on this Imperial docking station fuel reserve, and it's just so cool. Man, we're experiencing the Star Wars right here. You see all the stormtroopers, you feel that familiarity. But what I love about the game is we are focusing on areas of the Star Wars universe that we don't normally get to see. The crime syndicates, the crime families. You know, we got a taste of that in the Solo movie. And this is going to kind of feel a lot like what we were experiencing in Solo, where you've got all these crime syndicates fighting with each other and trying to steal from each other. So I do end up showing a little bit of this space station. This was one of the missions where it was like, don't get caught. I don't really have a lot of complaints about the game from what I got to play. Obviously, I'm not as good at stealth as maybe some other people are. I'm clumsy when I play. I run into things. I run out in the middle of everything. But, so, I mean, I hope that it's not like a lot of emphasis on stealth like every mission. But if it is, then, you know, it is a smuggler mission, a smuggler game. So, you know, you kind of have to expect that a little bit. But one thing that I did notice, though, is that there were times where the "you don't have to be all sneaky sneaks anymore" went away. And I didn't know, so I was trying to be sneaky, but you didn't have to be. And I would have rather just, you know, shot everybody and asked questions later. But here's the thing, okay? It was only a snippet of the game, so I feel like once you go from start to finish, you're going to pick up on all those little cues. The splicing for, like, picking locks is very different compared to other games that I've played. And being hearing impaired, and I do know that I do have at least one follower that is deaf. I hope that picking up on that rhythm isn't difficult. I didn't look in the menu to see what the you know, the ability options are, but I'm sure there's something that can solve that. But essentially, you have to, like, repeat the pattern of the beeps in order to pick locks, and that one was a little challenging to pick up on. My hearing impairment isn't bad enough when I'm playing games and wearing a headset where that matters. But, you know, I mean, I would imagine somebody that's deaf would have a lot of problems with it. You can follow the light flashes, but I would imagine it's a little tougher. So that's like a minor critique. I think a lot of people, when it comes to lockpicking, get caught up in reinventing the wheel. And this one's very unique, and I think a lot of people are really going to like it. But, you know, in any event, it was cool. But that's one of the minor critiques that I have, is it was tough to pick up on. And there were some patterns that were like, oh man, they're tough. So I hope you like puzzles. The gun gameplay, you know, it's pretty standard. She's got a blaster. I know that you can pick up guns that the stormtroopers drop. Switching from grenades, that was awful. That was like the first time I threw a grenade. So, like, the grenade toss was pretty terrible. But, you know, the gunplay, I think, is going to be satisfying. You can upgrade your pistol. You can pick up the stormtroopers' guns. There is also this mode right here where you kind of go into a adrenaline mode. I forgot that I had that a bunch of times. And there was actually somebody watching me play. Apologies to them, because I don't know how you guys do it. But they had to do it, and they were great. But he would kind of like whisper every once in a while, "You have your adrenaline." I'm like, "Oh yeah, thank you." So yeah, man. So here's the example where we are not cool. Okay, so I gotta find another way around. Unfortunately, it was literally right there. But yeah, man. The environment was great. I just really am excited for this game. August 30th cannot come close soon enough. Like I said, I'm a sucker for these open world games. Ubisoft has really perfected the open world games, and I really trust them to make a fun, engaging story. And this time they got to work with Star Wars on it, so that's great, you know. And I think everybody is going to really, if you like Star Wars, like if you enjoyed the Jedi, you know, Fallen Jedi, Fallen Survivor, Jedi Survivor, whatever it's called. If you enjoyed those two games, while you're not a Jedi, I think you're going to end up enjoying it. So this is me playing with, you know, Nyx's options, and just gonna set off this grenade. Person's gonna go boom. They had the quest item, got them to both kind of blow up instead of distracting him and having to sneak up and take him out. So like I said, lots of really cool options, and we are here trying to meet with the Queen. I think you might have seen some of that in some of their pre-release videos, but yeah, I didn't want to talk over a lot of cutscenes, so I decided to do this first impressions video this way. Maybe some of the clips I picked aren't, you know, they're out of context, and it's just really showing off environment and stuff like that. As you can see, we've upgraded her blaster so that she has like a rapid fire ability. Also keep in mind that, like, literally I got thrown into a game I had never even played before. So, you know, my gameplay might not be the greatest, but I was learning, I was figuring it all out, and I had fun. And I think that's a big takeaway for me. Like, I thank Ubisoft so much for giving me this opportunity to play the game, because it is a game that I have been really looking forward to. Anything Star Wars, I'm generally going to be hyped for. But this game it's going to be fun. If you're into the open world games that Ubisoft makes, you know, the Far Cries and the Divisions and stuff like that. You know, I'm not saying that this is exactly those games, but, you know, you kind of know what you're in for. And that's a safe thing to feel. So, like, it's really like, do you like Ubisoft games, open world games? And do you like Star Wars? If the answer is yes, I think this is going to be the game for you. Maybe not, but I'll have more videos coming, and you can kind of judge for yourself. I have to cut them into like 20-minute intervals. Well, right now I'm going to send Nyx over to fetch that. Again, I'm still learning the game, so, you know, it's a little rough, but, you know, I can't wait to play more. So, in any event, I'll let you guys watch the last 2 minutes of the video. I hope you guys enjoyed. What do you guys think about Star Wars Outlaws? How hyped are you for it? And that's about it. Hope you guys enjoyed, and we'll see you.
Okay. Open that vent. ND5, I've got the relic thing.
Should I be concerned about how you retrieved it?
No. I'm taking this to the Queen.
She won't see just anyone, Kay. Don't get your hopes up.